Put simply, this phone does not look or feel like any existing Samsung phone. It's extremely generic and could pass off for something from any of a handful of other manufacturers. The biggest departure from previous Samsung designs is the water drop style notch at the top of the screen, which is just big enough for the front camera to fit into. The screen measures 6.3 inches diagonally with a 19.59 aspect ratio. It also has rounded corners in keeping with current trends. The top and side borders around the screen do look narrow, but the sides of this phone bulge outwards considerably. This helps allow the earpiece to be placed within the frame above the screen notch. There is an ambient light sensor, but it can't be seen. The proximity sensor is to the left of the notch, and that placement doesn't seem to have hurt its functionality. Our Galaxy M20 review unit is the ocean blue color variant, which does stand out. It's quite dark with a glossy finish and a very fine grainy pattern that gives it some depth, though it does feel plasticky. We're happy to note that despite being glossy, the rear of this phone isn't slippery at all. The sides are rounded, but it is bulky overall thanks to its big battery. It's also quite thick and heavy, and we felt the weight after using it for extended periods. The Galaxy M20 has a USB Type-C port on the bottom and a fingerprint sensor on the rear. We found the sensor to be a bit too high for our index fingers to reach comfortably when holding this phone. It has dual SIM support with dual VoLTE, and you can use LTE on either SIM at any time. There's a dedicated slot for a micro SD card in the SIM tray. The primary rear camera is a 13 megapixel unit with an f1.9 aperture, while the secondary camera has a 5 megapixel sensor and 120-degree field of view. The front camera has an 8 megapixel resolution. The camera app is easy to use and well laid out. It is available with either 3GB of RAM and 32GB of storage for 10,990 rupees or 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage for 12,990 rupees, which is the variant we have for review. There's a 5000 mAh battery, and Samsung says that the bundled 15-watt charger will fill it up quickly.